Hello guys and gals and welcome. Welcome. I want to get this solo self-found run finished. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be doing some solo self-found. Also, they finally announced officially the 22 Nights of Holiday event actually coming back. So it does start on December 13th, which is today at 11 a.m. It goes on until 11 a.m. So it starts today basically. If we follow the previous schedule, it's not going to be the gambling day for quite a couple days, so you got some time. I think today the first day was cows. That's what the first day is. It's like all day cows or something like that. We can always hop online and see real quick. Today's modifier is Sugar Rush. Bonus, 100% bonus move speed and stamina. Okay, so maybe they changed around the days a little bit. Maybe they have new Doojanks, because I don't remember Sugar Rush being a thing from the last one. Let's do a quick comparison on the last 22 Nights of Terror. D2R, real quickly, before we get started today in our solo self-found. I had a listing of the previous event. Of course, I had it in my video. You know what? Let's be cheesy and pull up my video. Because I can't remember what link I used. Here it is. Okay, so the first day last time was cow level all day long. There was an increased bonus speed, which was the 21st of December. That was 100% bonus speed. So maybe they just shuffled it around. Maybe that's the plan this year, is they shuffled it. Could have very well shuffled it. But this is what they had last year, for those of you who are interested. They did have, things like the 100% bonus movement speed, the bonus thorns damage, the 50% discount to vendors. That's the infinite gambling day, by the way. And it's the day we're all looking forward to. Am I feeling better? Mildly. My fever seems to have gone away, but then now it seems to have been replaced by coughing, and my nostrils both clog up. At one point, I had both nostrils clogged up at the same time. That was beautiful. Being able to breathe is kind of important. I like being able to breathe. Being able to breathe is not overrated. I do enjoy a good breathiness. No, I still feel a little bad, but I did get a good night's sleep though, which I'm happy about. I've been having trouble sleeping ever since this sickness kicked in. It's been pretty nasty. So last time when we were streaming, I think I had left off, I think the stream crashed, but I had just gotten River of Flame Waypoint when the stream crashed, so I'm not sure if you guys actually saw me get River of Flame Waypoint, but as soon as I got the River of Flame Waypoint, I just go ahead and I just killed it, because I didn't want to continue from there. If I want to continue to play the Sunken Island game, expand your research station, get more gear, I do plan on continuing my Sunken Island playthrough. Actually, yes. I want to finish this first, because my solo self-found runs are always a cohesive run. I don't like to split them up too much, because if I split them up too much, I end up, kind of like forgetting what I'm doing, kind of lose my own, track of what I'm doing. So we're pretty close to finishing this, though, and once we finish this, there's really not much left to do. Diablo 4, I mean, we might go do some Midwinter Blight, but there's really not a lot left to do on Diablo 4 either. Ironically. I mean, for those of you who are interested in a schedule of what I'm doing, I feel like that's actually a good thing I could do right now. So obviously right now we're going to finish the solo self-found P8 assassin run. That is on the docket. So that is one of my scheduled events. I'm also working on Diablo 4 aspects, so you will see a lot of those videos come up. I kind of want to, and I know some of you who hate Diablo 4 are not going to like me putting out aspect videos, but for those of you who do watch my Diablo 4 aspect videos, I really appreciate it. I mean, for those of you who've been following me for a long time, you know, I have almost like a methodical way of documenting and going through and like picking apart things, and I plan to do the same thing that I did for Diablo 2, you know, going over all the unique items, the set items, you know, the skills and abilities, everything. I plan on doing the same thing for Diablo 4 eventually. It's going to take time, just like it took me time for the Diablo 2 videos, but I'm going to work on that as well. I do have a couple ideas for some new Diablo 2 content as well, so keep an eye out for that. These are ideas, though, so they may or may not pan out. But, you know, as I come up with new ideas for Diablo 2, then we will play some things. One idea, and I can give you one right off the top of my head that I do have an idea for, is a classic playthrough, and this is going to involve installing an old version of the game. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, basically the classic that we know as Diablo 2 players from back in the day was kind of corrupted by all the additions that were added in. The synergies were kind of messed things up as well. I don't want to play a classic playthrough with the synergies and all that other bull crap. I want to play a classic playthrough before the synergies were added to Diablo 2. And I can't remember the exact patch number. Let me pull up a Diablo 2 patch numbers list. Let's see if I can get an idea. So back when Diablo 2 was launched, the synergies, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, were added around the same time that Lord of Destruction was added. So I'm not sure. I think it's 1.07. I wanna say, I think 1.07 maybe. No, maybe not 1.07. So basically, it just needs to be before they added synergies, and I can't remember which patch number it was when they added synergies. So what I'm gonna have to do is, I think I'm gonna have to install an old version of Diablo, maybe like from CDs or something, and manually update it to like a version of the game that doesn't include synergies. I don't know. I'm gonna have to play around with it, figure out which version number I need. Maybe there's somebody out there that has like a version of Diablo that has like all the versions, and I can just pick between the versions instead of having to like manually go through the process of downloading the version numbers. But what I'd really like to do is I'd really like to show you guys what it was like for those of you who never played Diablo before they added the synergies into the game. The synergies kind of ruined Diablo 2, in my opinion. It always was like that. I don't know, maybe somebody remembers. What patch were synergies added in Diablo 2? Does anybody remember patch 1.10 from Diablo 2, the patch that positively fixed almost every issue within the game? What? So old. To add variety into the game, areas that were very boring to play were buffed, and skills that nobody used were retooled under the mechanic of synergies. So it looks like 1.10 is the patch. That's the patch where they added synergies. Now you might be asking, well, why does synergies mess up the game? Well, in Classic, there were no immunities. Immunities hadn't been added yet. And because immunities hadn't been added and because synergies hadn't been added, and a lot of other things, it made it very interesting to build characters in Classic. You could do crazy things like, let me just give you an example. One that's impossible today. You could make a frozen orb, meteor, lightning sorceress. You could literally have all three skills maxed out. and they actually all did decent amount of damage. You cannot do that in the synergy version of the game today. So the classic version of the game, and the reason why I guys want to show you that is because it really is a different world. The pre-synergy world. Also, I do want to continue Sunken Land. I think Sunken Land was really fun. We might have to like pick a day for this. I don't know. Maybe we'll have a Sunken Land day. It did seem like you guys enjoyed Sunken Land. So, I don't know. Maybe we make it into a little thing, and we'll just have some fun building Sunken Land bases and stuff. You know, if you guys enjoy that kind of stuff, I definitely appreciate you guys to like the stream. Let me see what I got on that one right now. This is fun. Let's go take a look at it. Let's see, live streams, Sunken Land. Let's take a look at my analytics. Oh, look at that! I made $12 off that video. I got 209 views. That's not really all that great. 209 views. How many likes? Where's my likes at? Likes versus dislikes. Doesn't tell me how many likes though. I thought it was a pretty fun video though. Oh look, 48, 40, 49. Yes, because I totally count. 49, 816 total views. That's not too bad actually. I mean, if you guys want to catch up, I'm not sure when the next stream is going to be, but if you guys do want to catch up on that, there's the Sunken Land. It was really fun, I'm not going to lie. I had a lot of fun with it. I got kind of addicted to it. Next time we do it, we're going to go check out the ship. There was like some big ship on the map. I can't remember. It was toward the end. Like I was looking at the map, and there was this big freaking ship on the map, and I know this isn't a stream about Sunken Land, but forgive me. I just wanted to show off this ship. Great. Oh, there's the map. Something called Neptune. See this big ship right here? I didn't even see that, but we're going to go check that out. Apparently it's like a... I don't know. Maybe it's a big like cruise ship or something. There's also a bunch of unknown ruins and all sorts of other things we can explore. I'm not really sure how big the map is. I mean, we'll have to have some fun searching around the map. Oh yeah, you checked out my Nintendo Switch video? It's not bad. It's not bad on Nintendo Switch. It's a little meh. Obviously, Diablo 4 season D4 season 2 is basically ending. Like it's ending. I can already tell that the viewership and the general, you know, like camaraderie and like community has like died down in season 2. So season 2 is pretty much over. Diablo 2 Resurrected season what is it, 6 should be coming up soon. So when that starts, we're obviously going to pick back up into D2R. I'll have to figure out some a new build to play. It could be kind of fun to pick a new build. I do have a couple crazy ideas, and we might actually do some theory crafts coming up on potential new characters. So we'll play around with these ideas. I'm not exactly 100% sure how well these theory crafts are going to work, but we'll play around with it. You know how I like doing theory crafts, so it'll just be new content for us. I also want to go back and redo the blade skills. So when I originally did the blade skills for the assassin, and this was a long time ago, this was before synergies. It was before they added in a bunch of changes, and I do need to redo the blade skill videos. It's only like 3 videos, but they really have changed them a lot, and they really need to be redone, so I'm probably going to have to redo those. I also have some more plans for Diablo 4. Unique items, so I'm going to be putting out some more unique item videos. There's a couple that I missed, like for instance, Lidless Wall, I'm completely missing. What waxing gibbous. There's a couple that are just like not on the list. I'm trying to think like off the top of my head. I think Oculus. I don't have a video on the Oculus. So I'm going to be catching up on some of those as well. As you can see, I got lots of stuff that I need to work on. I'm going to be busy. I'm going to try and put out at least one video a day for the upcoming like couple of months. If not 2 videos a day for the upcoming months. I'm not really entirely sure. I may actually, if I can work out some Diablo 2 content, I might actually start kind of mixing in like 1D4 and 1D2 video a day. So we'll play around with that. Anyway, that's just for you guys. Alright, let's get started in this solo self-found run. First off, we need to do a gear check. So, gear... Actually, no, not gear check. We need to do rules first. So for those of you who are just joining, my solo self-found runs are governed by rules. Number 1, you cannot change the difficulty at any time. It must remain players out throughout the entire run. Number 2, you cannot use any item from any other character at all. Number 3, trading is off limits because you can only use items that you find yourself / that you see fall on the ground. Number 4, you cannot specifically target farm any specific item except for Uber keys, because obviously Uber keys have to be specifically target farmed from those monsters. Target farming is defined as when you farm a target until it drops the item that you are looking for specifically. This is the MacGyver rule. Number 5, the solo self-found run is over after killing Hellbale. And as for gear, let's take a quick gear gander. So I've got Duriel Shell on my Mercenary. I've got a imbued circlet with some life leech and all res. And I also have the Hustle and a Eth Ogre Axe, which wasn't a bad find. I'm using myself a Clegglaw's Tooth upgraded to a rune sword with an Eth rune in it for the additional, defense reduction. I also have it socketed, of course. I got Rockstopper Sallet, a +2 Traps Amulet. I've got Clegglaw's Claw. I did manage to get a Lem rune earlier, so I'm using a Treachery now, which is pretty sweet. And I have some 20% faster run walk, little dual res boots, nothing too fancy. Nagel Ring with 29% magic find, a blood belt for the open wounds. I've got a little 6 min damage, 64 AR ring here. Clegglaw's gloves that have been upgraded to heavy bracers. As you can see, I've upgraded the entire Clegglaw's set because it's been doing me pretty well. Charms are nothing really, honestly. I did get 1 traps. I actually re-rolled this, by the way, so it's pretty nice. This is probably the best charm I've found so far. 12% faster at recovery with 65 AR. Most of these are just kind of garbage. It's just anything that I've been able to find that wasn't like, hey, that's stupid. Why do you even have that in your inventory? I'm also utilizing an amp damage proc sword as well as a spirit for pre-buffing. So I have my amp sword in here, which I put on when I come across physical immunes. And I'm using swordback hold for the 50% open wounds versus those physical immunes, because open wounds actually does melt physical immune monsters. It just depends on how much HP they have, but it helps. You might be asking, well, how does open wounds work on a physically immune monster if you can't dish damage to them? The interesting thing about open wounds is that open wounds doesn't care if you're physically immune. It just cares whether you have a wound. It basically works like, imagine if you went up to a guy and he was, being a punk to you, and you noticed he had like a like a wound on his leg or something, right? And then you just like started punching his wound, so his wound started bleeding. The entire thing is that the monster is already injured. As long as the monster is injured, then you can open the wound. And so basically what it is that the monster actually has to have taken some damage. So they have to be less than 100% HP. As long as you can dish out at least a tiny bit of damage to them, even if it's just something like a poison charm, a lightning charm, something like that, as long as their HP drops 1% below 100%, you can apply open wounds to them, even if they're physically immune, and they'll start ticking away, which is very nice. So I'm basically combining these two together to get the open wounds amp damage effect to basically kill the physical immunes. It works. It's slow, but it works. And I'm using the Spirit Sword for a little bit of pre-buff. It certainly doesn't hurt. I think I was just about to go down to the Hellforge when my stream crashed yesterday. So we can go do that, and we can go see what kind of rune we get. Maybe we get something nice. Maybe we get a friggin', I don't know, what's the highest you can get, like a gold rune from this thing? I'm not really sure what would be all that useful for us right this second. I mean, I still have one more socket quest to use, so I guess there's also that. Let's back it up a little bit. Poor Merc getting overwhelmed by Erdars right off the bat. You know, let's do a quick reset. Erdars are fun and all, but I don't think my Mercenary is gonna have a good time fighting 1,000 million Erdars. Why you gotta invoke the Chippy curse? That's just rude. Don't invoke the Chippy curse. That's just mean.
What do you need?
What do you need?
Alright. Back to what we was doing. Back to what we was doing. Ooh, a combat truck. I like those. Oh, dang. My Merc got wrecked. Well, this is painful. You thought it would make great content, not crash the stream? Oh, man. You thought wrong. You thought wrong. I'm trying to get this frickin' Pretzel music app to work, and man, I cannot get it to work. Save my life. It's frickin' broken. The only thing I can do is go to the website. And the website app sucks. I don't like the website app. The website app sucks balls. It sucks balls. Bowels. It sucks bowels. It sucks bowels. 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 Let's get some music bumping anyway. Here we go. Midwinter Blight Secret? No, I haven't really looked much into it, unfortunately. I mean, I played with the Midwinter Blight the other day. And, I mean, it was alright. It was okay. I mean, it's just basically like a Helltide 2.0. I mean, with some, you know, with some rewards. Some actual kind of cool rewards, I guess. I'm not really sure what would be hidden in it. Vidala's boots. Not interesting. Alright, we need to find Hephaestus so I can get my forge going. God dang, they took out my merc in a half a second. These grotesques ain't playing. Well, we'll probably be back in Diablo 4 tomorrow or something, so we'll try and figure it out, I guess. I hate how ineffectual Corpse Explosion is on like players 8. It really is bad. It hardly does anything. Come on, Grotesque, I need you dead. I need you to stop making babies for 2 seconds of your life. All you do is spew out babies. Gosh dang. Put the babies away for a second. I think the Urdars would have been more fun than the baby spewers. What's up, King Bob III? Alright. Let's res the merc yet again. Oh, we got some Power Rangers down here. Oh Lord, gotta be a grotesque. Always a grotesque. Where did you even come from? Didn't I just kill all your brothers and sisters? You little turd. I'm not sure I like the warrior over the master. I think I might respec. Go back to the master. I'm not sure what it is, but the warrior sucks. She doesn't use my blade fury, which is a big issue already. And then on top of that, I can't get her to cast the blade sentinel, and she barely casts the blade, the freaking other thing. So basically, all she does is just stand there like a lump on the log. I mean, granted, it's useful that she stays alive for a little while, but she still dies really quickly, which is, I don't know. And now she just don't do nothing. The other one was doing too much, and she's just not doing enough. She's just being useless. Alright, kill the grotesque. That's goal number 1. And of course the grotesque is down inside the hat. Get the corpse explosion running. Get that grotesque dead. Second grotesque. Merc needs some life. Couple more corpse explosions. Okay, this guy. Kill them grotesque, don't see no. Come on down and let's go. Kill them grotesque, let's go. Come on down and let's go. Snot eater the mauler. Oh man, he can eat my snot. I got plenty of snot for him to eat. He can suck it right out of the source. Sounds good to me. Think he does home deliveries? Think he'll come eat my snot at my house? Well, I'm sure the warrior would be more useful if I wasn't a Blade Fury assassin. I think that has something to do with it. Because she copies my abilities, and I think she's just not copying like the abilities that I'm using, so I think it's pretty obvious that she's just, I don't know, kind of useless. I mean, what can I throw on my main click besides Blade Fury? I can put Blade Sentinel on my main click. I didn't know I could do that. Let's try that then. Let's try Blade Sentinel on my main click. Maybe that'll. Oh yeah, there we go. Look at her now. Now she's spamming it. Alright. So she just doesn't use the right click very often is what it is. I need the physical monster in the pack. It's going to be a pain in the butt. I need to back it out. And the merc's already dead, so what does it matter anyway? What is life? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. No mo. No mo. No mo. Ball, 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 ball. Alright, I need to put on my blue suede shoes over here. There we go. Looking for that amp. Can you... how did he sidestep me like that? None of the other monsters sidestep me like that. We're going to use our open wounds amp damage combo to get past these freaking immune to fizz.
Not enough mana.
Like I need some mana potions.
What do you need?
What do you mean by like number? Gold MF. At first I thought you were counting up your number of likes, but at the same time I also kind of realized that your number changes up and down a lot. So like I was just trying to figure it out, I guess. Alright, so we're gonna lock this guy in the corner.
Not enough mana.
Oh, fucking mana drains like crazy on this guy. And I am missing him like crazy too. That's my attack. Oh, that's right, because I'm not using my set. Actually, why is my attack rating so low? That don't make no dang sense. 6,800.
Greetings.
Shouldn't be that low. Boom, 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 boom. Beam, bum, ba, beam, bum, ba, boom, bum. Need some more AR charms. I did my damn potions.
What do you need?
I can't steal any mana from those guys, that guy, because he's immune to physical. So I'm basically just like stuck in a loop. Oh my god, why am I freaking getting freaking murdered by these guys? Hit him with the amp, with the old razzle dazzle, swamp it over. Alright, back to the amp. Oh yeah, bad potions. Ugh.
Not enough mana.
Does cleansing aura reduce freezing time? The main thing that reduces freezing time is cold resistance. The more cold resistance you have, the lower the duration. You can also do half freeze duration. Half freeze duration also works in tandem with it. It's a combination effect. So you get your half freeze duration, and then you got your cold resistance itself. So if you have 95% cold resistance and half freeze duration, that would give you the maximum benefit. So you'd have the shortest freeze time on your Diablo 2 character.
Not enough mana. I need mana. I need mana.
He's regenerating because I can't hit him. I always hate the regeneration in this game. The monsters regenerate so much, and they regenerate so fast. It's very difficult to do anything to the monsters because of how quickly they regenerate. Even while you're attacking them, that's the thing that's really crazy, is even while you're attacking them, they're still regenerating. And they regenerate just like with an expedience. Damn. I'm so confused, like... I'm having trouble getting used to this left click, right click thing. I switched it out so the minion there would cast the abilities correctly, but... Extra fast, extra fast. Let's back it up a little bit. My merc had to go over there and freaking agitate everything. Of course. Not my merc, sorry. My shadow warrior had to go over there and agitate everything. I don't know why he had to go over there and agitate everything, but it was important for him. It was important to him to agitate the whole world. And these grotesques are annoying the crap out of me. Good, damn. Moving on. The hell? Is that a unique Hyperion? An ethereal Hyperion shield. Rare. What's up, Cindy? How's it going? I see you just fine. Sometimes there's a little bit of delay, so gotta keep that in mind too. I did not see any previous messages from you, Cindy, though, prior to did you get that, so I'm assuming you were having some kind of an issue. But you're not, doesn't look like you're having any kind of issue now, though, so you're coming through loud and clear. I bet you this Hyperion is still worth a pretty decent amount of money. Even ethereal, for some reason, Hyperion shields are usually 35k in the bank. 35k in the bank. 35k in the bank. Do I want to respec and switch back to the master, or do I want to stick with the? Or do I want to stick with the warrior? I don't know. I mute the mic so you guys don't hear me clearing my throat. What's up, Ninja Storm? Yes. Alright, well, we're about to level up. We still haven't found the frickin' Hephaestus. I don't know where the hell he is. Let's get the pit lord first. Let's get some corpse explosions going. The corpse explosions might not help me deal with the big grotesques, but they do seem to do pretty well at killing the small grotesques and thinning out the herd, which makes it a little bit easier for me to deal with the big ones, because obviously then they're not surrounded by everything in the world. Alright, we finally made it. Look at that. Elon Musk. What's Elon Musk streaming today? He's streaming some Diablo. Oh lord, he's immune to physical. And he's conviction aura. What the freaking ham biscuit is even going on with my life right now? I'm just gonna have to go back to town and pick up mana pots and hold them in the corner like this. Unfortunately, my merc can't steal life from him because he's immune to physical, so... Freaking conviction aura, though. Yeah, dang. We might as well build up on some freaking potions here. We're gonna be chugging them to kill this guy. Chugging. We're gonna be chugging. Chug, 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 chug. That's right. Chug, 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 chug. I don't understand how he's immune to physical. I'm kind of confused on that point. He's demon spectral hit. He's aura enchanted with conviction. He has extra fast, but somehow he's immune to physical. He's not normally immune to physical. I don't know why he is immune to physical, actually. It doesn't make any sense. He shouldn't be immune to physical, if that makes any sense. Because he doesn't have anything that would make him immune to physical. He's not stone skinned. I don't think he's naturally immune to physical, which rules that out. Why the hell is he, is there a mod I'm not seeing on his bar? I don't know, it's a little strange. The highest rune I believe is a gold rune, if I'm lucky. More potions.
What do you need?
that. He was slowly edging out. That conviction ore is nasty. I'm actually kind of surprised he's hanging in there, to be perfectly honest. He's doing pretty well for a conviction immune to physical infested. I would have thought he would have been dead by now. Spectral hit too is also particularly nasty, so it's a pretty nasty combo.
Not enough money.
Alright, finally. He dropped me a bassinet. I can put my baby in it. Alright. So I gotta clear out the Hellforge, but we got the big boy out of the way though, so we're good. Let's back this up a little bit and focus him down. Hit lords for days. You know, in my solo Self-Found runs, I really have started to detest pit lords. Pit lords are kind of nasty in this game. They have a lot of health, and they're very resistant to, well, just about everything. And they're often very difficult to kill unless you have like a mastery over your character. And in solo Self-Found P8, their HP is a lot higher than normal. And that means that a lot of the times they just have way more HP than you would ever expect a monster to ever have. They're extremely resistant to physical and fire, and that means that corpse explosion doesn't work very well on them. They're just a pain in the butt in general to deal with, and I don't like it. I've started to realize that, yeah, I mean, eventually they get to the point where they're easy to kill, but there's a cutoff, right? So as a solo Self-Found character with poor equipment, they're just too much. They're always too much. So it just ends up being this constant thing where literally every character I've played solo Self-Found, the pit lords have just been an absolute nuisance to my characters, all of them. I mean, they're not impossible to kill, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they're impossible, but they're annoying enough that I just detest constantly running into them in Act 4. Like, it's a little annoying. A Dole or an IO? Dang, that's rough. Y'all doing me dirty with a Dole or IO. Don't be cursing me like that. Don't be putting that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Get the grotesque. There. Grotesque out of the way. Alright. Poor Merc got overwhelmed. You're all wishing me good Hellforge vibes? Not Meow. Meow's over here telling me I'm going to get a chip gem and an L rune. It's a good thing Meow's not on today to curse me. And he would too. He likes cursing it. Alright. One pit lord left. Poor merc dead on the ground over there. Come on. Valerie. That's an interesting plan. Falrune could potentially be used to create a obedience, maybe. I don't have another co-rune because I used my co-rune on that other item, but you can't get a burr rune from the Hellforge. Come on now. Be realistic. Falrunes are interesting because, well, they're actually kind of useful. Just depends on what you're trying to do with them. Honestly, an obedience on my merc right now would be pretty broken. Ain't gonna lie. I could also really use a better amulet. I'm kind of hesitant to take some of my money and craft with it, but because I am running a little low. But I think it might be a good time to do a little bit of crafting. Let's do a little bit of crafting, shall we? I just need a better amulet than a +2 traps. +2 traps is alright and all that, but I'm trying to think of what I want to get. I feel like a safety amulet might be a good choice. Let's pull out some safety amulet mats. Maybe we can get a decent little trapper or something. Let's you and get 2 Thal runes. We'll try and craft 2 safety amulets. We'll see what happens. Alright, Jamala, don't do me dirty. %, increased chance of blocking, all res 9, replenish life 5, 19 dexterity. No skills. No skills on that one neither. That one's terrible. That one's actually not bad. I mean, this one doesn't have skills on it, but it still has a bunch of good mods. Let's try one more roll. I got one more full rune. Give me one more amulet, ma'am. +2 elemental skills druid. That's not what I needed. I needed a blue amulet. I didn't need all that crap. +1 necromancer. Poopies. At least it was worth 35k in the bank. I guess I could try and make a blood. I still got plenty of, actually I don't have any amrunes, do I? I got one amrune. Do I want to use an amrune? Is there an amrune in, obedience? It's not, is it? No. Because it doesn't have life leech on it. Can we make an obedience? That's the question. I think we probably can make an obedience. We need a co-rune, and that's the catch, right? But co-rune, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think we can transmute up. And we could end up with a co-rune. Might take a little bit of work, but I think we can do it. So, Lums transmute up to co. Ios transmute up to Lums. So, if we take 3 Ios And we transmute that with a chipped diamond. That'll get us alum. No, hold on, not chipped diamond, my bad. Flawed topaz. And there we go. Now we've got 3 lums. And we need a flawed amethyst, which we don't have. But with a flawed amethyst, we can take those 3 lums and transmute those to a co. And that'll give us the co and the foul that we need to make the hell co. So we got the hell, right? So let's just put this out. So hell, co, which we don't have the co right this second, but we do got the 3 lum runes. So if we kind of just like place those sideways for the moment, because that's gonna be that'll be our co right here. So the three lums equal a co. And then we need the thull, which we just got rid of, but we can transmute up 3 orts for a thull. That's no big deal. So now we got our thull, and then F. So we've got the full rune word there. So it's hell, co, thull, F, and then foul, which is the newest rune that we just got. So there's the full obedience rune word. So all we really need is an ethereal 5-socket weapon of basically any type, because they changed it to be from polearms to also include spears now. So if we get an ethereal polearm or spear capable of 5 sockets, we're good. Oh yeah, I do have them over here. Thank you. I wasn't even paying attention. So there we go. Now I can transmute up the 3 lums and get the co. So now we've got our hell, co, thull, F, foul. That's the best frickin' like merc rune word, like bar none. Alright, look at that. We got doojanks. That's why I saved some of these things for up transmutes like that. Alright, well at this point, we're looking for an ethereal 5-socket. Man catcher would be really nice. Ethereal man catcher, that would be freaking great. Thresher, I don't think, I can't remember. There's a couple of them that could potentially be 5-socket. We'll keep our eyes open. Wasn't as bad as I thought. That was actually pretty easy. Locking down one pit lord like that is kind of hilarious. I can basically just hold down the button. It don't matter. He can't go nowhere. It's not like I can knock him back any further than the wall. So he just gets stuck there against the wall until he's dead. Crescent moon is good for lightning traps, though. Yeah, it's not good for me. I'm not lightning. As I just cast some death sentries. The entire point of the death sentries is just the corpse explosion, which the corpse explosion part of it isn't lightning. So let me grab my mercenary. I'm sure he can be useful here. Come on, Kasim. I always gotta go pick on the freaking grotesque, because if I don't, they just spam infinite numbers of monsters until literally there's nothing left. Tired of having to pick you out of the group, Mr. Grotesque. Stop making babies! A dimensional blade. Alright. A little bit of an Easter egg for those of you who may have never noticed. But these knights right here, the ones that are on these little statues, their heads actually follow you as you walk past. If you guys haven't actually noticed this before, they actually look at you. They follow you as you walk down the aisle. These are actually the Dark Knights that you fight in Diablo 1. They're the Black Knights. And they do actually, it's supposed to be an Easter egg from Diablo 1, and also they're, you know, they actually are alive. They're not dead. I guess they just don't want to fight. I don't know. Alright, let's kill this pit lord. And let's kill your mama over there. You can stop making babies. Nobody cares about you making babies. Nobody wants you to make babies. Quit it. And nobody wants you to make babies neither. Oh, I should go through chaos pretty easily. I freaking hate the pit lords though. Them pit lords. They got my number. So negative 35% enemy lightning resistance is huge. It basically allows you to be able to bypass immunities with the addition of the lightning. Crack of the heavens. Don't you be staring at my crack of the heavens. With the addition of the crack of the heavens, you can literally just bypass lightning immunities. You don't even have to worry about lightning immunities anymore. And that's kind of the whole shtick is that you can do that. So Crescent Moon provides you with more than just bonus damage. It provides you with the ability to become self-sufficient where you would not be able to be self-sufficient before. So it's important to remember that yes, while the Spirit Sword may give you more damage, the Crescent Moon is allowing you to have a self-sufficiency which you would otherwise not be able to have. Being able to kill lightning immunes is more important than a little bit of extra damage. There's no other way I can explain that, so, I mean, if that doesn't get through to you, I don't know what will. I don't know what will if that doesn't. Oh Lord, there's a grotesque. Let's get him out of the way. Two grotesques. Alright, focus the grotesque and nothing else but the grotesque. So help me, grotesque. Problem is when he starts making a wall of monsters around him, it's pretty difficult to hit him, so you gotta like burn through the monsters that are around him before you can get to him. Let's go ahead and pop some of their bodies. Pop some more bodies. Oh, look at that. We did some work there. Alright, slowly slogging my way through. freaking minion at? Over there just fighting some random monster? Alright. Holy, extra fast mana sealers. What the ham biscuit? I ain't ever seen Stormcasters kill nothing. They just took out my merc. Extra fast, cursed. What are they? Extra strong Stormcasters too? I ain't ever seen Stormcasters actually do damage to nothing. Get Spine Flame out of the way. Extra fast cursing. He can go suck it. Alright. Oh, there was a champion pack too? No wonder. You have a friend that you're trying to convert. Well, I'll give you some math. You can hit him with some math since he likes them numbers, right? He's a numbers man. He likes them numbers. Let's give you some numbers, all right? You can do the same calculation that I'm doing right now, and you can show him that his 22k damage is garbage, all right? So, first thing you got to do is just pull up a calculator, all right? And if you want to, you can pull up a notepad too, all right? And this is what you do, all right? So, you're saying that he has 22,000 damage without CM, 17,000 damage with CM, right? Alright, so if you just take them and you just subtract them, you get a difference of what? 22,000 minus 17,000, which gives you 5,000 extra damage, right? 5,000 extra damage when you're not using your CM, right? Alright. Seems like a lot. Seems like a lot of bonus damage. Seems like it would actually be a whole lot of extra damage. But the truth of the matter is it's not. It's actually nothing. And CM's negative 35%. Is it 35%? I can't remember. I think it's 35%, right? CM's negative 35% LR actually, in the long run, creates more damage than what the 22,000 is providing. Alright, so here's the calculation that you do, and it's really simple. Take a monster A, who has 50% lightning resistance, monster B, who has 0% lightning resistance, and monster C, who has immunity, so 100% lightning resistance. Alright, these are all different categories, of course, and there's more categories than just this, but let's just take these three categories and we're gonna do the math. Alright, so if 22,000 without CM hits this 0% lightning resistance monster, he's gonna do 22,000 damage. Congratulations, you hit a monster that has 0% lightning resistance with your damage. This is very rare, by the way. Almost every single monster in the game has lightning resistance of some type. You can pull up a chart. I can pull up one right now. Let's take the Pit Lord as an example in Diablo 2. And let's see if I can find the numbers for you. So this is a Pit Lord from Diablo 2. And as you can see here, my boy is sitting at 75% lightning resistance in hell. So he is sitting at 75% lightning res, always in hell difficulty. So whenever you come across a Pit Lord, they're always at 75%. It's very rare to come across a monster in hell difficulty that is 0% resistance. So we're going to take this and we're going to delete this because monster B doesn't exist. So we're going to put this at 75%, which is much more likely. 75% is pretty close to what you're actually going to encounter when it comes to most monster types. There are going to be some monster types that have relatively low lightning resistance. Sorry, hold on a second. Sorry, where was I? Alright, so Pit Lord. Pit Lord has a standard lightning resistance of 75%, right? Alright. So, we apply the damage properly, as if we're fighting a Pit Lord. So, at a 75% resistance, your 22,000 damage gets subtracted by 75%. It's a straight reduction, which means now you are only doing 5,500 damage. Alright, so you're only doing 5,500 damage to that Pit Lord. At 50% resistance, your 22,000 damage is being subtracted by 50%, which means you're only doing 11,000. Alright, and then if the monster's immune, this is where things get really nasty, because obviously if the monster's immune, you're doing nothing. Even if you do have a Sunder, which brings you down to 95%, you're still going to need additional negative lightning resistance to bring yourself any lower. And your 22,000 damage is going to get reduced by 95%, which means now you're doing 1,100 damage. It's pretty terrible. Alright, now let's put the Crescent Moon using character in the same scenario, right? So Monster A, Monster B, Monster C. Now, he does less damage. He only does 17,000 damage, right? But he does have negative 35% CR, which is insane. So the negative 35% monster lightning resistance is going to give him an advantage, because instead of 50%, he's going to be sitting at 50% minus 35, which is only going to be 15. Instead of 75%, he's going to be sitting at he's going to be sitting at 40. And instead of at 100% or even 95% if you have a Lightning Sunder, he's going to be sitting at 95 minus 35, which is going to be 60% resistance. And you can already see where this is going, because the 17,000 damage character is going to very quickly out DPS the non-damage reduction monster. So when I take my 17,000 damage and I minus 15%, I'm still doing 14,450. I'm out DPSing the 22k damage character by 3,450 damage. The second monster, the one down below, Monster B, I'm doing 17,000 damage minus 40%. So I'm doing 10,200. I'm still out DPSing the 22,000 damage character by, what, 4,500? And the immune monster, the one where the guy's only doing 1,100, I'm only getting subtracted by 60%. So my 17,000 is going to get reduced by 60%, which means that I'm doing 6,800 damage to this monster that's immune to lightning. I'm still out DPS in the 22,000 damage character by 5,000 damage. So here's the irony here, okay? You look at the difference and you see that the difference is about 5,000 extra damage. But the negative 35% lightning resistance actually gives you 5,000, about 5,000 more damage than the 22,000 without CM. And negative res is almost always going to be better. Now, the one situation, and I'll give this to the 22,000 lightning damage character, is the one situation that doesn't exist, which is Monster B, or Monster D, which is 0% LR. If you run into a monster that's 0% LR, the 22,000 damage one might come out on top in that one scenario. Because obviously in that scenario, you're doing 22,000 damage, right? And the CM person is going to be looking at Monster D with negative 35% LR, which means that that 17,000 is going to get added 35% to it, which means you're going to be sitting at 22,950. But as you can see, even in the case of a monster with 0% lightning resistance, having negative 35% lightning resistance is still superior by 950 damage, even in the situation where this one shines the best. So even in this one's absolute best scenario, it still loses to the Crescent Moon. The only situation where I would see where Crescent Moon would not be a good option is if you were able to hit negative 100% enemy lightning resistance. If you can hit negative 100% enemy lightning resistance without CM, then you can probably say that it's not the best choice. Anyway, I think that pretty much conclusively proves to anyone who is ever thinking that running like a spirit or something like that, or whatever it is that you're going to be running, is technically better. It's not better. There's pretty much no better choice than the Crescent Moon for the Lightning Sorceress. It is literally, without a doubt, the best option, like bar none. Yeah, link him a clip of the stream of me literally conclusively proving that his damage output is inferior in every single way, including the best way it could possibly be superior. Yeah, for science. This is pretty much just math. I wish I could breathe out of my nose. That'd be nice. Breathing out of your nose is important. I feel like it's important. Oh Lord, more grotesques. Why are there so many grotesques? Whew. Oh my god, it's like, just die already, please. I don't want you spawning an infinite number of grotesques behind me while I'm trying to frickin' fight. Alright, away we go. Stop being rude to me. What did I do? I mean, in P8 it's a little rough. I'm definitely feeling the burn in P8, but I'm by no means properly geared. I have the budget Clegg Laws, which budget Clegg Laws is a leveling set. It's not meant to be used in P8 Hell. It's actually holding up surprisingly well for P8 Hell, but I'm feeling the fact that it's not obviously the best set for me to be using at this particular point. I feel like I'm a budget smiter at this point. As you can see, I can pretty much handle most monsters with relative ease individually. Breathing is hard. Yeah, I'm getting over an illness. It's definitely rough. I've had better days. The fever's gone. That's about the best I can say. The fever's gone. I'm happy the fever's gone. Back out of there before the merc dies.
Thanks.
Amp damage never goes well with the mercenary.
Greetings.
A lot easier than I thought it would be. I'm kind of rolling through this chaos. These monsters are dying really easy. Sometimes I have to wonder if I'm still on P8. That's a good thing, honestly, because if I'm killing that quickly, then I'm kind of wondering whether or not it's P8. And that means my character's doing well. Which I certainly can't get mad at. And of course, the Pit Lord ambush. Let's bring it back to the hallway here. It works much better when we can take them out one at a time. Let's go res the merc again for the 18,000th time. I'm trying to survive. I just wish I could breathe through my nose. I know I said that like 18 times, but you know, you really miss being able to breathe through your nose when all of a sudden you can't be able to breathe through your nose. You know, I've been trying to search on the internet for this thing, and I don't know if how did he just die? Man, sometimes I am so confused at how he dies. I really don't know. He'd be dying for the weirdest reasons sometimes. Night poison. Demon extra strong fire enchanted magic resist. That explains why my boy just got wrecked. And that amp damage curse don't help nothing. It's actually kind of neat how quickly I can kill like one monster. The unfortunate side effect is I really need them to kind of like come back here, and my merc freaking girl just doesn't want to behave. Come on, come block for me. Yeah, there we go. Alright, kill the Oblivion Knight. That's what we do. There we go. Oblivion Knight down. And now there's 2 more Oblivion Knights. Exactly what I wanted. Alright, Night Poison. Almost out of the equation. This is slow go. Monsters like Night Poison make things all the more difficult. Oh, he's so cute. He dropped me some Scissor Squab. 40% increased attack speed, AR, repairs durability. Pretty garbage overall. Yeah, which basically leads you to just kind of hold shift and just aim. It's better if you just hold shift and aim. I really only name lock specific monsters that need to die. So if I'm name locking a monster, like it's usually like an Oblivion Knight or a specific monster that I'm trying to kill, like a Grotesque. For the most part, I don't name lock unless it's a monster that I'm specifically trying to kill. Did my merc already die? My merc just walked in there and got one shot. That's beautiful. I don't even understand sometimes how he dies so quickly. I'm really confused, to be perfectly honest. I guess he needs more faster hit recovery. And there's really no getting around it. You know what I'm tempted to do? Let's do this. I don't really want to do this, but let's do this. Let's see how much of a change this has in him. Let's give him my treachery. I'll take the Duril show. And then,
Good evening.
hopefully that will give him the damage reduction he needs, along with the other effects. I don't know.
What do you need?
It may or may not work. Hey, Aggro with the 5 gift subs. Thank you, Aggro. Who's gonna get him? Who gonna get him? Who gonna get him? Robin, congratulations. Ninja Storm. Hey, Irene's a member now. Look at that. B-Rad, Exile Jordy, and oh, Merry Christmas to you, Ginger. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And Merry Christmas to all my members. Hopefully I'll be better by Christmas. Wonder if I don't have a 5-socket Doojank. I didn't find any ethereal 5-socket Doojanks. That's right, you get a chinchilla when you become a member. Come on, get him, get him, get him, get him, get him, get him. Well, I think it's working. Merc definitely seems a hell of a lot tankier now. He's got his little treachery on. Maybe it is more useful on him than it is on me. I mean, I'm still gonna cry about it, but... I mean, his resistances were already capped without it, I think, because he was using Duriel Shell and he also had the. In fact, yeah, I think his resistances are actually lower now. His resistances are actually lower now with the treachery than they were before. I think it's the faster hit recovery, honestly, because he doesn't have any fast hit recovery anywhere. I think that's his main issue. Back it up a little bit. Damn, damage procs ain't nice. Well, I'll get my last socket quest here soon, so one way or another we're gonna do something. I'm thinking about maybe socketing that Duriel Shell. I don't know. A lot of the times what you do is a Blade Fury Sin as well, besides just simply targeting like a monster that you want to kill. You target a monster in the back that you want to kill, and you just like burrow a hole straight through. It's kind of what you do. So you kind of just force your way through it. Burrowing your way through like a freaking drill. Let's go sell some stuff.
Hail to you, champion.
I am overburdened.
I don't know what a winged harpoon's good for, but... I like the fact she's casting my Blade Fury, or Blade Summons. I don't know how much damage she has, but... it seems useful. And I'm muting my mic every 5 seconds to call for sneeze. I finally got caught up on Young Sheldon. Been watching that over, like, whenever I got free time. I really enjoy that show. I'm so upset that Dr. Sturgis and Meemaw broke up. I don't like that. I think Dr. Sturgis and Meemaw should have been a couple forever. They make such a sweet couple. I'm gonna be honest, I liked Big Bang for a little while, but it started to get, I don't know. It's a little too much. Young Sheldon's more fun because he's still a kid. Plus, I like the fact that it's not completely about nerds. I don't watch TV either. I've been watching Young Sheldon on Netflix, and then I had to get season 6 on Amazon Prime, which I didn't. I think what are we on season 7 now? I guess on live TV. So I guess I'll have to catch up with the season 7 wherever that comes out. I gotta res my merc again. Is there anything on the ground I could sell for some money? That ancient shield's not bad. I'll sell that. I'll sell the balance knife. It's actually worth a decent little chunk. Cutlass ain't worth nothing. Greaves ain't worth nothing. Hyperion Spear ain't worth nothing. Love Seinfeld. I love Seinfeld. I could never get into Cheers though. I tried. I don't know what it was about Cheers that I didn't like. I don't know. I did like Frasier, who came from Cheers. So Frasier was a show that spun off of Cheers. I liked Frasier. I think what it is it's the same elements I like in Frasier is the same elements I like in Young Sheldon. So it's not just a matter of like a smart kid, because the show's not all about Sheldon. The show is about Meemaw. The show is about Georgie. The show is about his father. The show is about his mother. Like, and some of the characters I'm not really interested in. If I'm being perfectly honest, some of them are kind of boring and they're one-dimensional, and I don't really like their characters all that much. But the show is good, right? I like it because it has a lot of elements to it. It's got the nerdy science stuff in the Sheldon character, Dr. Sturgis and Steinletter or whatever his name is. Those characters are your nerdy characters, right? And then you've got like Georgie, who's like your, he's I don't know, he's like a I don't want to call him a jock. He's more like your run-of-the-mill average teenager, who's just trying to live his life. Missy's hilarious. She's not hyper intelligent in the science department like she is, but you can tell that Missy is very smart. She's smart in like an emotional way. Like, she has a different kind of intelligence. They may be twins and they may not have both got the same elements, but they're both interesting characters. Meemaw's hilarious. I freaking love Meemaw. The character that I actually dislike the most is the mom. I actually dislike the mom the most. She's very, I don't know, fakey. She seems like a fakey kind of a person. Like, always going to church, always trying to be religious, and then, like, as soon as she turns around, if she feels like doing something wrong, she just does it. And she doesn't even have any justification for doing stuff wrong. She just does it wrong. And she does it wrong all the time. Like, there's something really weird about a character like that that's hyper religious and then also just does things wrong all the time, and then doesn't even admit when they do anything wrong. Like, tries to play it off all the time that they're not doing anything wrong. I liked Friends. I thought Friends was good. I don't know. I thought that Dr. Sturgis's reactions with Meemaw were my favorite, though. I think out of all the character dynamics so far, I think Dr. Sturgis and Meemaw is hilarious. They need to go ahead and just rekindle that romance and get rid of Dale. I think I understand why Dale's on the show. Dale had his own TV show a long time ago, didn't he? Was it like Coach or something like that? I didn't really much like his show, to be honest. I never really enjoyed that show. I guess it's just because I'm not a sports person. It was very much so a sports show. Yeah, I did invest in Death Century. Unfortunately, I'm kind of regret it now because P8 just, it doesn't really work very well. It just doesn't really work very well in P8. Let's go res my merc for the 70th time.
Hail to you, champion.
Oh, crushing blow helps. I got a pretty decent amount, 35% CB. I need more. I could really use a pair of goblin toes or something, but I haven't found nothing, so I'm kind of screwed on that. You know, like frickin' G-Face would certainly not be a terrible addition as well. Oh, look, I'm completely out of mana. I would have guessed it. With giant mana suckers all over the place.
What do you
I mean, I guess, like I was saying, Fraser had kind of the same thing going on as young Sheldon, which I think is why I like both of them. Is that, yeah, Fraser was kind of a nerd. He was a nerd in a different way, though. He was one of the, like, psychological nerd, not scientific nerd. But anyway, Fraser was in the nerdy department, right? And you know, his family wasn't. So, you know, he had his dad with him, who would often, you know, have like comic relief and less nerdy things to say. You know, his why did I not resurrect my merc like 18 times? Am I just not paying attention, or do I just not have enough money? Okay. You know, it was just kind of interesting to look at it from a certain perspective, because it really did feel like, you know, having the non-nerdy elements in the show definitely helps make the show more interesting, because you don't want to have just like completely nerdy elements. And that's what I feel like with Big Bang. Big Bang is like very, very nerdy. The only non-nerdy element in the show was basically Penny and her relationships outside of like the normal behavior within the group. But see, then the problem became, well, then once Penny became a member of the, you know, like the group full time, and she started to date Leonard, well, then that aspect disappeared, and now Penny's, you know, stupid love life with stupid people that were not scientifically engaged slowly disappeared. You see what I mean? And so that aspect of it went away. It became less interesting because it was too devoted to science. They need, you know, you need someone in there to make the other smart people look smart, I guess. You need a dummy in there for the other smart people to look smart against. I gotta go blow my nose real quick. My nose is freaking like clogged up. Another thing about Big Bang Theory, which really kind of disappointed me. I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard this before, but if I am the first one to teach you this, well then, I'm sorry. That character, the actor that played Sheldon, apparently has never seen Star Trek. Never seen Star Trek. And I don't know why that's so disappointing to me. 100% speed boost, Pugby. I don't know why that's so disappointing to me. That literally Sheldon has never played, never actually seen Star Trek. But like so often in the show, they talk about, like Star Trek characters and like Captain Kirk and Captain, like Picard and Spock and all that stuff. And he ain't ever seen Star Trek. I think there was a news article the other day. Jim Parsons is the name of the character. And I don't know, it just really bugged me. Especially for a character who's supposed to actually like Star Trek. I mean, like, he literally just has never watched Star Trek. You can like pull up articles all over the place about this, which is it really kind of rubs me the wrong way. Really, really rubs me the wrong way. I don't know why it rubs me the wrong way so much, but it really rubs me the wrong way. I mean, I really like Star Trek, and maybe that's why. I really do like Star Trek. I've seen Star Trek so many times. I've seen like every episode of every single TV series, and it's like I can't imagine somebody just pretending to like Star Trek on a TV show about a character who loves Star Trek, and all you're doing is just pretending to like Star Trek. Like, wouldn't you, as an actor, and this is just my personal opinion, but wouldn't you, as an actor taking on a role of a character who absolutely loves a TV show, wouldn't you take it upon yourself to watch that TV show? Like, wouldn't you, like, as a what is it called? Method acting, I think, which is basically where you actually go and range of rehearsal techniques is formulated by a number of different theater practitioners that encourage sincere and expressive performances through identifying with, understanding, and experiencing a character's inner motivations and emotions. A method actor would go and watch the show. Like, even if you didn't like Star Trek, even if you didn't actually enjoy the show, if you were taking on the role of a character who loved Star Trek, you would think that you would go watch the show. Even if it's the first time you've ever seen it, upon taking on the role, you would think that somewhere in your mind would be like, okay, well, this character loves the show. I should probably go and, watch the show so that I actually know what I'm talking about. And, I don't know. It really kind of bugs me, I guess. It just bugs me. By the way, blowing my nose did no good. I think it's even more clogged than it was before. So, you guys don't need to know that, but I'm going to tell you anyway.
Thanks.
Stop cursing, my boy. I watched the original Star Trek with my dad when I was a kid. I really did enjoy Kirk. Captain Kirk, I think he's the best captain. God bless it. Breathe. I think all of them are unique in their own ways. Definitely very interesting TV shows. I definitely think Next Generation, after the first couple seasons, really started to pick up steam very well. Picard really kind of leaned into his character, and the whole show in general started to get better and better as it went along. Is it limeade? No, this is just water. Just trying to stay hydrated.
Good evening.
I mean, I liked Voyager. I thought Voyager was great. I really... I don't know how else to explain it other than two different kinds of exploration, right? One is forced, and one is voluntary. The Picard, like, Kirk aspect of things is the voluntary exploration. They didn't necessarily have to be there. They didn't need to be there. Voyager was exploring, you know, by... not voluntarily. They were exploring because they basically had to survive, right? And they're trying to make their way home. I actually really enjoyed Voyager from that dynamic because it felt more natural and less forced. Man, I'm slowly burning through this, aren't I? It's taken me a year and a half, but I'm slowly burning through it. How come my nose be clogged and there's nothing in it? Yeah, the damage on Cleglaw scales with level, so it's actually been doing quite well. That's kind of the whole thing about Cleglaws, is that it scales. So the max damage continues to rise as you level. It's 147 damage with some pretty nice little doojanks there. So it goes to 10 to 42 up to 10 to 147. I mean, it increases my damage from 734 to 1022. The main thing, though, is it gives me 50% deadly strike, 35% crushing blow. Those are the two main things right there. Upgraded it to the rune sword. I don't have the runes to upgrade it to the cryptic, fortunately. I wish I did. Why is he taking so much damage? Stop shooting him in the butt with elemental attacks. Turd. I don't understand what's not to like about Star Trek. Even people who don't like sci-fi, I feel like should still get into Star Trek. Star Wars is interesting too, don't get me wrong. It really would help a lot, I think, if if the first couple seasons of every single show weren't garbage. I mean, take Deep Space Nine. Deep Space Nine, like the first two seasons, are basically just trash. They're literally trash. They're absolutely terrible. And they make the entire rest of the show look bad. And the whole rest of the show is actually pretty good. I actually really recommend Deep Space Nine to anybody who likes Star Trek. But I will never tell you that the first couple seasons of Deep Space Nine were good, because they're not. The characters were bland. The stories were bland. Odo is bland. The whole freaking thing at the beginning is bland. Cisco sucks. Cisco's character sucks. You can tell he hates his job. Honestly, I felt like freaking Deep Space Nine was absolutely terrible. But then they start, I think it's about the same time they introduce Worf. That's when things start to turn around. So when they introduce Worf in Deep Space Nine, that's when everything starts to turn around, because Worf brings experience to the table. And I don't mean experience in the Star Trek universe. I mean experience in the acting universe. Worf is a seasoned actor of the Next Generation TV show, so he knows what he's doing. Everybody else on the show doesn't. And I think it's very clear that Worf, or I'm sorry, I don't even, why am I saying Worf? Michael Dorn, that's his name. Michael Dorn brings a lot of experience to the table. And it's very obvious that when Michael Dorn becomes part of the show, that everything kind of changes. Now, the Next Generation struggled in its first season too, but not as bad as Deep Space Nine. And even the first season wasn't like a complete, like, wash. I feel like the characters were kind of like trying to find themselves, but I mean, I don't know. I really kind of like Tasha Yar. I wish they hadn't gotten rid of her. And eventually she does come back later on in the show, but hey, another white shako. They love giving me them white shakos. I mean, even the Star Trek original series had a rough start. I know a lot of people might not agree with me on this one, but Gene Roddenberry was not the best director, producer, whatever you want to call it. He was good at making, like, crafting a world, but he was not good at making actors, and he was not good at creating, like, episodes and things like that. That's why the original series almost failed too, because Gene Roddenberry's original vision wasn't a very good vision. It was really kind of bad, and William Shatner actually fixed a lot of the problems that he had in that show at that time. It's actually pretty well known that the pilot was basically a failure, and Shatner basically came in and fixed it. And that's kind of what happened with Next Generation too. So it's interesting when you look at it from this perspective, because I think it actually does make a lot of sense. Shatner fixed Star Trek. So Star Trek, the original series, was fixed by William Shatner. Next Generation got fixed by Patrick Stewart. Patrick Stewart definitely was the one that fixed Next Generation. He put everything together, kind of busted heads and made things work. You know, being a what is he called? He's called a not an actor, because up until that point, I don't think Patrick Stewart did a lot of movie acting. Most of his acting was stage actor. He was a stage actor. So he brought a lot of his stage actor, you know, very, very powerful stage acting to the show. And I'm pretty sure that he was the one that pretty much fixed Next Generation. Worf, Michael Dorn, pretty much fixed Deep Space Nine, but also, from what I understand, eventually when what is his name? The guy who played Cisco. I can't remember his real name. But the guy who played Cisco eventually started to get into his role. It took some time. Man, what are the chances of that? That is... I believe Cisco eventually started to help fix the show, too, once he started to get more into his role. What are the chances of that? I mean, look at that. An Eldritch Orb and a Cloudy Sphere. Both of them dropped within a couple minutes of each other. Both of them have +3 to fire skills. Both of them have bonus to mana. Both of them have magic damage reduced. Now, granted, the bonus to mana and the magic damage reduced are not exactly the same. But what are the chances of 2 orbs dropping back to back like that with basically identical stats? That's got to be like a glitch in the Matrix, right? Got to be a glitch in the Matrix over here. I think the only Star Trek show that actually started really well and finished really well is the Enterprise. I think the Enterprise did pretty good. I don't think the Enterprise was bad in the beginning, and it evolved really well. I actually really liked Enterprise. I thought it was good. I thought it was really good. You know whose character I thought really sucked? Yeah, of course he's dead. I thought Odo. I thought Odo was terrible. I didn't like Odo. Odo's character was bland. So bland. I don't know what to think about his character other than that. He's just the blandest character. For most of the show, he was just bland. I feel like talking about Odo is a good analog for how Deep Space Nine went too. Because I mean, who technically was the special character in Deep Space Nine, right? In Star Trek, it's Spock, right? Spock is the special character. He represents like the computerized brain, so to speak, right? In Next Generation, it's Data. Data and Spock are kind of like analogous to each other. They take up kind of like a similar, position. In Enterprise, they kind of made that person to Paul. To Paul was basically the kind of like the Spock of that show, right? So who was technically like the Spock or the Data of Deep Space Nine, right? It's got to be Odo. Odo's the weird egg out. He's the character that's kind of like completely odd from all the others. He's not a robot, and he's not a half human, half Vulcan, but he's a shape-shifting alien creature, right? But the crazy thing is that unlike Data, who was extremely interesting, and unlike Commander Spock, who was extremely interesting, Odo came off as just completely boring of a character. For the majority of the show, he was just extremely boring. There were very few like intimate moments where you got to see into the personality of Odo. One of the episodes that I know right off the top of my head that was actually one of the biggest developments for Odo's character literally involved Loxana Troy, which was Deanna's mother. So Loxana Troy comes to the station, and they get stuck in an elevator. And Odo is faced with the unfortunate side effect of having to turn into his liquid form in front of somebody else for the first time, basically, like, ever. And Loxana is nothing if not compassionate, and she offers to hold him in her dress while he regenerates. And they actually connect with each other for the first time, and it's like the first time ever that Odo's like ever really genuinely developed his character toward any kind of like meaningful nature, and they had to bring in Loxana to basically make it happen. And there are very few episodes throughout Deep Space Nine where Odo has any kind of meaningful character development. Always kind of bugs me about his character is that he's just so dry and boring for most of the show. Oh, Quark is great. The Ferengi are great. I actually really like the introduction of the Ferengi into Deep Space Nine. You don't really get to see them a lot in Next Generation. Which is rather unfortunate, honestly, because Next Generation probably should have explored the Ferengi more. I mean, they did a little bit with like Damon Bach and whatnot, but they did it more of like the Ferengi were evil, which is not really the right way to go about it, because the Ferengi weren't really evil. They're what's the term? Hedonistic. They're hedonistic, which is a completely different thing. So I don't know. There's like a bunch of different ways you could explain Ferengi, right? They're hedonistic. They're also what's the other term? They're greedy. Hedonistic, greedy. There's got to be some other ones here. Sexist, or not sexist. What's the other term? It's the one where you oppress the opposite sex. I don't know what the word for that one is. Well, yeah, manipulative. That's a good one too. Tax cuts. But they're not necessarily evil. They're just kind of, you know, shady. I think Next Generation really didn't know how to represent the Ferengi properly, and kind of went off on like a tangent that they were evil. But I think Deep Space Nine really kind of formed the Ferengi into a more interesting society of, you know, like, hey, these are actual characters. You know, they're greedy, they're manipulative, they want money, they're willing to do anything for money. They'd sell out their own mother for money. Misogynistic, yeah, they're misogynistic. I think that's a good term for it. Obviously, I mean, they keep their women at home. They're not allowed to leave. Their women are naked all the time. I gotta harken back to a Seinfeld episode, though. I'm not changing the subject, but you know, there was a Seinfeld episode where Seinfeld had a girlfriend who was always naked. She would like always be naked when they were at the house, and Seinfeld thought that he would like it. Men think they would like their wife to be always naked, but there's good naked and there's bad naked, and that's what the whole episode is basically about, the bad naked, and how literally like there's sometimes where she's naked and like she like bends over the wrong way and like flexes her muscles and it looks really disgusting, and he was trying to tell her that there's good naked and there's bad naked. And then he didn't want her to always be naked because she was also showing him the bad naked, and he didn't want to see the bad naked. I'm not really sure that would be the best thing in the world, especially if you're talking about your like grandmother, because they weren't just doing like wasn't just women, it was like all women. So you'd have like the old saggy ones in there and everything. I mean, it wouldn't exactly be a delight to the eye sockets. That's right, good naked and bad naked. I don't know. I really did like the Ferengi. I like Grand Nagus. I thought Grand Nagus was hilarious. I liked how Quark's brother, what's his name? Why am I forgetting names? I remember some stuff, but I won't remember the names. Brahm? No. What the hell is Quark's brother's name? Not Brahm, Rom. That's right, Rom. I like how Rom's character developed in Deep Space Nine. Rom's character originally kind of just felt like a nobody character. Didn't really feel like he meant much of anything to the show. You know, he kind of just did what his brother asked him to do. But over time, he's slowly kind of like gained his own backbone, and he started to, you know, actually help out and do some pretty serious stuff. I was actually pretty surprised with how his character started to develop. I really did like it. It's going to be dangerous. I know this is going to be dangerous. The swarming frickin' Venom Lords is never not dangerous. I mean, he was never really naive. He was constantly stealing from his brother. He was upholding the tenets of the Ferengi code. You know, he didn't like memorize the book, but he would steal things, and he would steal from his brother, and you know, he basically was a Ferengi through and through. But I guess being present on the Starfleet ship, or you know, like the space station, slowly kind of converted him. Eventually, he ended up marrying you know, the Bajoran wife, and eventually he actually, you know, like does some pretty cool stuff in my opinion. Like when he developed the mines, when he stayed behind to disarm them. There was a lot of really cool things that Rom did. I was actually pretty proud of him. That's one of the reasons why I like Dr. Sturgis on Young Sheldon so much, because he's Grand Nagus. I was not fighting Infector of Souls in that little tiny hole. He would have overwhelmed me. He would have killed my merc. He would have killed me. Or killed my Shadow Warrior, and then he would have killed me. And that would have immediately ended my life. I didn't even try. I just immediately assessed the threat and just moved on. I'll fight him from this side. This side will be much safer. Ooh, a stalagmite staff. +1 teleport. I might even be able to hit him from here, I'm not sure. I can't remember. Let's see what we can do. Well, he doesn't seem to be stone skinned because the minions are going down really easy. Alright, let's pull what we got back. Looks like we managed to get 3 minions. Not bad. Let's go ahead and push these to the side instead of backwards. Unfortunately, with Infector of Souls, due to the fact that they're extra fast, a lot of the times they get kind of like locked together. It's one of the things I've noticed about him. Is you gotta be careful because they leash really hard. See how many of these we can pull. good, pretty good. Alright, let's pull it back. Let's let her tank those while we take out this guy. Oh, he's physical immune. Stone skin. Ugh. Yucky. I'm gonna have to take out all his minions first before I take him out. It's gonna be a pain in the butt. I need you over here, Merc. I need you over here, Merc. Oh, he's multi-shot too? What the frickin' ham biscuit? Yeah, I'm super glad I freaking got out of there now. You know why? Because I never would have been able to kill him. Merc would have found him. Immune to physical and would have just gotten his butt lit up. He's immune to fire too, which means corpse explosion ain't gonna help me either. I'll pick him down slowly. It's just gonna take some time. That multi-shot's gonna make things spicy though. Alright. Extra fast, spectral hit, stone skin, multi-shot. That is some nastiness. Let me get closer so I get the fanaticism AR bump. I don't want to get hit by the frickin' flames though. Oh yeah. Hold on. Let me actually put venom on.
Put that to good use.
Oh, he'll die eventually. I mean, I got open wounds. I got venom now. I got the freaking amp damage. Well, why? Actually, I don't have my amp damage weapon on. Where's my amp damage weapon? What did I do? Throw it away? Freaking stupid. That's why my amp damage weapon wasn't on. I'm over here just like firing away too. Like, just let's keep going. Come on, we got this.
What do you need?
Freaking didn't even have my amp damage weapon on. Freaking A. And y'all let me do that too. I saw y'all let me do that. Now we gonna kill him. Okay. Now we gonna do it. Watch this. First we gotta get the amp proc. There we go. Then we swap back. Alright, swap back to the amp proc. Swap back. Swap back for the amp proc. Swap back. Swap back for the amp proc. Swap back. That took way too long, but he did.
I can't
So
carry anymore.
I win. Alright. Merc's probably gonna die here. Let's go ahead and put a portal up. Cast her right there in the center. I ain't got no fire resistance. Oh my god, you love spamming that, don't you? Little punk. My merc's not dying though. I'm actually kind of impressed. Let me go proc fade on myself real quick. I need some resistances.
I'll put that to good use.
Burn, baby, burn. Let's go, Inferno. Gonna burn that mother down. I'm burning. I got the weirdest Kit Kat. I bought it. I don't know if I'm gonna like it, but I bought it. It's a churro flavored Kit Kat. Y'all want to see my face twist up when I freaking try it out? I don't know if it's gonna be any good.
What do you need?
I don't know about no churro flavored Kit Kats now.
I'll put that to good use.
I'm literally standing right in front of you. Why are you still using AoE attacks on me? Like, what the hell? I mean, ranged attacks. Like I'm running from you or something. I'm literally standing face to face with you, Diablo, and you are still spamming that stupid stuff. You know what? Go ahead, spam it. I don't care. It does less damage. Ow, that freaking fire still hurts. Alright, Ninja Storm, have a good night, man. You're at your wife's gas station, they weren't right. Well, I'm gonna give them a try. After I kill Diablo. I'm gonna get him down real low and I'm gonna go get my magic fire equipment on. I think he's low enough. Let's refill on potions. Yeah, I know. I'm not really sure why he's fixated so much on me. It's really kind of strange. Alright, magic find gear. Let's deck it out. I'm gonna deck it up good. I'm gonna get some good drops from him. Oh wait, no, let's not take off that gloves. Throw this on. So Duriel's got the yep. Alright. I can make a topaz helmet too, but what am I set at? 183. I can bring that up by 10% if I throw this on. I got them crappy ethereal boots in here somewhere. Yeah, I do. 25% Eth boots. That brings me up to 218. I'm gonna have trouble even hitting them. Oh, great. He got me stuck in a bone prison. Why is he so fixated on me like that? I don't even understand. He freaking wants my cheeks. He really wants my cheeks. And that is the second time he has put me in a prison. There's something going on with his AI. Like seriously, he is out for blood with me. He wants me bad. I'm not sure if I can survive another bone prison if he locked me up in another bone prison. I think I might be dead. Oh my dear Lord Jesus. Are you kidding me? I put on all that Magic Find gear and he gave me a bunch of crap. A blue war hat. I'm so excited. A throwing spear. I'm gonna take it back and sell it for money. Freaking worst freaking giant sword that ever existed, and a heavy crossbow of garbage.
What do you need?
Boy, that's some terrible hell. That was the most terrible hell freaking Diablo drops I ever seen in all my life. They don't get worse than that. No, giant sword is that stupid one that it's for the only. Ugh. Ugh. That's all I got to say about that. Ugh. Yeah, it's garbage. That thing's garbage. It's Garbosian. That's what it is. Garbosian. Garbosian. What kind of garbage? Garbosian. Garbosian garbage. What's up, Psycho Man 66 Sands? What do you mean, why am I playing? People still defend that thing too. I've got a video literally where it's just me talking about how terrible some of the uniques are in the game, and there's still people to this day come on that video and they're like, no, they're like, that sword's actually pretty good. Like, you can use it for this, and I'm like, and it's not good. Like, it's not good. Stop. 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 Let's see if I can find his comment. It's fun to read these sometimes. Wow. Some people said Kid Millsall is good for farming chippies. I'm like, well, you can still get the same with something else and farm chippies faster. Alma Negra is also one that people got on my case a lot about. It's a terrible shield. It's an absolutely terrible shield. What should we use our last socket quest on? We're finally in Act 5. We're gonna complete this tonight as long as my internet stays good. Oh yeah, I was gonna try out this churro flavored Kit Kat. Let's try out this churro flavored Kit Kat. I don't even know. I bought one for my girlfriend and she said ew. She said ew. That's what she said. It looks like white chocolate, which is already not filling me with too much enthusiasm. I'm not a big white chocolate fan. It just tastes like white chocolate with like some cinnamon in it or something. I mean, and I don't really like white chocolate, so it's not really all that great. I'm not gonna lie. Almost no unique weapons compete with rune words. I'd have to disagree with that. There's quite a few unique weapons in the game that compete with rune words. And people just don't want to look at it. It also depends on what you're looking at it from, like the perspective that you're looking at it from. I can write you out a list of items that compete with rune words. Here. I'm gonna give you a little list here. For Smiter. Specifically, a pure Smiter. Astrion's Iron Ward is far superior. I'm even putting quotations. Far superior to all rune word options. Also, for melee barbarian, having tested out many different ways of playing around with, like, you know, griefs, last wishes, all sorts of other things. My personal opinion is Flesh Ripper Fang Knife. Ethereal, they do have to be F, superior to basically any other form of weapon you can put on that character. I absolutely just love running a dual F Flesh Ripper Fang Knife Barbarian with Whirlwind. It's absolutely a joy. Not only does it give you Crushing Blow, Open Wounds, negative targets defense, 50% negative targets defense, by the way, including massive amounts of damage if you get a nice F Zodded one. But on top of that, because of the negative 50% targets defense, you need less AR. And so you can focus more of your equipment on damage, and you can focus more of your equipment off of Crushing Blow, because you don't need as much Crushing Blow. You don't need any open wounds, because you get 50% open wounds from both of them. You get the 50% negative targets defense. There's tons of amazing little things that Flesh Ripper does that I feel like is far superior to any other option that the Barbarian can use. Having played around with all of them, especially for Whirlwind, the Flesh Rippers are just absolutely amazing weapons. Damage-wise, AR-wise, like all the different effects that they have on them, slows target, just tons of various things that they can give you. Also, for Druid, I think it's specifically Druid, but Ethereal. Why am I blanking all of a sudden? It's the Scythe. It's the one with the Crepify on it. Has lots of lifesteal. Everybody loves to use it on their Mercenary. But actually put on a Druid, it's actually pretty much best in slot now. Why am I just completely blanking on the name? This is how my brain works, by the way, guys. My brain literally works by just completely blanking out on things that I should know. OV Jaw 30, sorry, I don't know how to say your name. Thank you for the Prime sub, man. I really appreciate it. Very much so. I appreciate when you guys support me. In fact, I need the support. I need it. Please help me. Yeah, Reaper's Toll. So, Ethereal Reaper's Toll is literally best in slot for Druid. It's better than any other option. It's better than Grief. There's nothing better than the Ethereal Reaper's Toll for the Druid right now. You can, however, I believe one of like the other options, if you don't want Decrepify, is something like a Decapitator axe, like with really optimal setup. Like you need like a really good rune word in it. But this is a little bit of a different option, and honestly, it doesn't give you that sweet Decrepify spam, which, since you're a pure physical character on the Druid, is really important. Other options, so like I could come up with a couple more really good options. So for Paladin, there's really not a lot of better options than the Zakarum shield, or Herald of Zakarum. Herald of Zakarum is literally like the best shield that the Paladin has. it trumps like 99% of all other shields, including Exile. I honestly don't even think that Exile even comes close to it. I think Exile is okay in a lot of regards, but Herald of Zakarum is just better in what it offers because it offers so much. And the main thing that Herald of Zakarum offers that Exile does not offer, by the way, is a socket. Since Herald of Zakarum is a unique and it offers a socket, you can customize it in a wide variety of ways, adding more resistance, adding increased attack speed. If you're a character that has, you know, particularly slow attack speed, maybe you need to hit a breakpoint, so you can add a 15% IAS jewel in there. There's a lot of different various ways that you can customize the Herald of Zakarum to your character, and you can make it into an absolutely amazing piece of kit. Defensive-wise, one of the best defensive armors in the game is literally the Guardian Angel Templar plate. The Guardian Angel Templar coat, which can be upgraded to the Hellforge plate, is literally the best defensive plate in the game. Not only does it offer you a huge bump into all of your maximum resistances, but it also gives you blocking chance, which is something that no other item in the game except for shields can give you. If you want to hit a basically one frame blocking, you basically have to use Guardian Angel Templar coat, and one frame blocking is absolutely insane. If you've never had a one frame blocking paladin, you literally can block like the world. Because the problem with 75% block chance is that 75% block chance means that, yes, you have a 75% chance to block. But if 10 monsters are hitting you at the same time, and they all hit you within the same frame, you can only block one of those attacks per, like, I think it's like 2 frames or 3 frames or something, depending on what your block chance is, or your block rate is. And with one frame blocking, you can literally block one attack every frame, which means that you can block 25 attacks per second. 25 attacks per second is insane, which means that if you have 25 monsters all attacking you at the same time, unless they all attack you on the same frame, you can potentially block every single attack that the monsters are providing to you. So Guardian Angel Templar coat is absolutely insane, and beats out a lot of rune words for a lot of good reasons. You can also get an ethereal one thrown on a mercenary with like a Kira's, and you can make a very nice trav farming merc. I mean, I could go on for a while. Haas is a weapon because smiters use it as their main weapon. It's basically how the characters work. But if we're talking about specifically weapons, okay, I'll move away from armors. The Guardian Angel Templar coat doesn't really function as a weapon, right? Alright. Tomb Reaver used to be better, but that was until they changed everything. So the Tomb Reaver was probably many factors times better than the any other rune words. I think it still is, really. But the problem is that now that they changed the way the equations work, Ethereal Reaper's Toll has superseded the Tomb Reaver. But Tomb Reaver is still an absolutely impressive weapon. Way better than, honestly, most of the other rune words for the Druid. Specifically for the Druid. Same thing with the, what's that staff? I can't remember the name of the staff either. My brain is flutzing out. Now, the staff has kind of fallen out of favor since they changed the way that the calculations work. And that's really just because it's not the best. It's still really awesome. It's still a really good item. Rib Cracker. Rib Cracker is still an absolutely excellent weapon. Recently, I also found out that, and this is a really fun one for you because you may not know this one, Mang Song's Lesson, which for the longest time I used to believe was not really all that good of a weapon and couldn't really be used for much of anything, has actually cropped up as best in slot for fire druids. It's best in slot for fire druids because it applies +5 to skills along with negative 15% enemy fire resistance. So you get +5 skills and negative 20% enemy fire resistance, which trumps any of the other options. If you use a Heart of the Oak, a Hodo, and a Spirit, that gets you +5 skills, but no enemy fire resistance. So now you have the +5 skills, but you don't have the negative enemy fire resistance. If you use the other option, which is Phoenix plus what, like Hodo or Phoenix plus like a faceted sword or something, like whatever it is that you're trying to do, you get the enemy fire resistance, but you lose the +5 to skills, so you no longer get the +5. And the problem with this is that, well, fire druids are not entirely fire based, so having huge amounts of enemy fire resistance, while it's nice, you're also ignoring the physical component of your damage that you have. On top of this, you are losing a large amount of plus to skills, which means you're losing a large amount of damage to gain that enemy fire resistance. The Mangsong's Lesson actually supersedes the rune words in this category because, number one, you keep your +5 to skills, and you still obtain a pretty decent amount of negative enemy fire resistance in the process, so you get to have your cake and eat it too. Mangsong's also comes with some pretty nice additional bonus, which is the increased attacks, the cast speed, which cast speed isn't really super important for the fire druid, but having a little bit is certainly not harmful. The thing is that because the fire druid is 50-50, it's a 50-50 split of fire/physical. Going entirely fire forgoes your physical side. Going entirely physical forgoes the fire side. Mangsong's is the only one that actually allows you to beef up both the physical and the fire side together, as opposed to sacrificing one for the other. There's others. I mean, I'm sure I could come up with others for you. It's all on a case-by-case basis, is what the thing is. Flesh Ripper actually works as a best in slot for the character I'm playing right now. If I found a Flesh Ripper on this Blade Sin, I would put an Eth Flesh Ripper on immediately. You don't even need a Zod rune. All you need is an Ethereal Flesh Ripper. Blade Fury and Blade Sentinel do not burn durability. The only ability that burns durability is Blade Shield. So as long as I forego using Blade Shield, I can actually utilize Blade Sentinel and Blade Fury with an Ethereal Flesh Ripper Fang Knife, and the Flesh Ripper Fang Knife is absolutely insane for damage output for the Blade Fury Sin. It is best in slot, one of the best in slots. It's not the best in slot. And what I mean by this is there are other options. There's a lot of options for the Blade Fury Sin on which direction you want to go. And the Flesh Ripper Fang Knife Ethereal is definitely one of those best in slot options. I'm trying to think of the other ones. There's also a very interesting one, which is kind of hard to come by, and I will admit this, it's a little difficult to come by, but it's the Redeemer. I'm not sure if you guys have ever seen the Redeemer. Let me pull the Redeemer up for you. The Redeemer is an interesting one that has grief damage on it. It can also be ethereal. And it has negative 33% target's defense. The combination of effects that this particular item has on it makes it very interesting damage-wise. Not only does it have the grief damage modifier on it of 120, because it can actually be ethereal, and it is an elite scepter, so it has a pretty huge amount of damage. If you can find a 300% enhanced with 120 grief damage modifier on it, you can actually have an absolutely insane weapon that does massive amounts of damage. An ethereal, nearly perfect Redeemer literally gives even a grief a run for its money because of the massive amount of damage that it has just in general, but also this negative 33% enemy's target defense. This is the real kicker right here, because it reduces the amount of attack rating that you need to hit anything. So you can set up a character that has a very minimal attack rating, because the negative 33% enemy defense just brings down all the defense of all the monsters, and you can focus more on offense as opposed to trying to bring your attack rating through the roof. When you're a barbarian and you're using something like a grief, you still need something like 15,000, 20,000 attack rating to hit anything that's a boss or even like a Uber or anything like that. But with negative 33% target's defense on your side and utilizing a weapon that not only has grief damage but can roll ethereal with some pretty freaking sick numbers, the weapon itself is actually surprisingly good. And it's not something that you would only use on a paladin. You could use it on lots of different characters. There's my video on it right there. I wonder if I've got a picture of the ethereal in the video. I wonder if I have a picture of the ethereal one. Let's see here. I probably have an ethereal one in here. I usually like to include the ethereal versions. There's an ethereal one right there. 240 to 312 damage, 120 grief damage, plus 2 paladin. I got a Zodron in it, so it's indestructible. Pretty sexy looking weapon all around. Just bad. Weapons like this are just kind of nuts. They're also kind of hard to come by, though. Finding a nice ethereal redeemer with the right stats on it is going to be a little difficult. Let me get back to my run here, sir. Sidetracking me. I need to go kill Shank.
You'll pay for your atrocities, Bale.
What do I got? Thorned Hulks. Spear Cats, Thorned Hulks, and what else? I'm not particularly fond of Spear Cats. I'm not going to tell you guys. Let me be honest with you guys. I don't like them. I don't want to fight the Spear Cats. I'm not going to run by all these guys. I don't want to fight them. They can go suck it. Oh god. They're gonna murder my merc here. Yeah, I don't know about Spear Cats and Thorny Hulks. Those guys are a little rough. I think I'm just gonna run on by. Just have 0 light radius run. Be kind of funny. The game is so dark. It's so dark I can't see anything. Oh dear Lord Jesus. Oh Lord. Oh, thank you. That boy was blue. That was big boy blue over there. Yay. Alright, let's go res my merc for the 7,854th time. The thing that I don't understand about grief is that grief is a physical damage weapon. It's purely physical. I built a character last season based entirely around elemental damage, and I had so much more fun. I understand that people like a grief because it's a really nice physical damage weapon, and if you're going with a physical damage build, then it makes sense. But I felt like my barbarian, that was literally based around crescent moons and based around lightning damage, did far better than I ever did with dual griefs. It was just much more fun. I came across this very odd thing with the whole, like, non-physical melee character. Which was basically that, it turns out that physical damage characters in Diablo 2 were just horribly, horribly nerfed. I think there's something, like, ingrained in the way that all the monsters have, like, 50% or higher physical damage reduction, and it makes it very, very difficult to bring the damage down to any relative number. I'm not really sure how I can explain it. I know. Let's do this. It's really, really simple. We'll just do it on a notepad real quick. Alright, so if I have a monster that is, you know, fire resistant, lightning, right, cold, poison, physical, right? So those are my damage types, right? The lowest that I can possibly ever get a physical, I'm just gonna write fizz. I totally spelled that wrong. The lowest that I can get a monster with fire resistance is -100. All right. The lowest that I can get a monster with lightning resistance is -100. The lowest that I can get a monster with cold resistance is -100. The lowest that I can get a monster with poison resistance is -100. Now, what does this mean? This means that I get double damage, right? Double damage for -100%, all right? And this is possible even if the monster is immune to the element. So depending on how much negative resistance you stack, depending on how many facets you have on your character, depending on what equipment you're using, every single element just about can hit -100%. It just depends on how far you're willing to go to make that happen, right? However, if you have a monster that's immune to physical, the lowest that you can ever bring that monster is, let's see, what is it, 95% if you're using the Sunder. So we're going to give you the optimal amount. So if you're using a Sunder, you can bring them to 95%. And then if you're using an amp damage item, not Decrepify, because Decrepify is the inferior version. So if you're using an amp damage weapon and you proc amp damage on the target, then you can bring that monster down to -5%. That is the lowest that you can bring that monster down to, if they're immune. And even if they're not immune, so even if they're not immune, the majority of the monsters in the game have a minimum of 50% resistance to that element, which means that the lowest that you can ever bring them is 50%. So when you look at it from this perspective, you start to realize that you can bring down the damage or the resistance of these elements far easier than you can this one. This element is kind of just like stabbed in the chest. And so the most interesting thing that you can take from this is that while, yes, grief is OP, it's also entirely physical damage. And what we learned above is that physical damage is not the best element in Diablo 2 because physical damage can never reach basically the same damage numbers that the other elements can. So if you build a character around poison, cold, fire, or lightning, you can potentially hit -100 in those resistances. You can add on negative enemy lightning resistance, negative enemy poison, negative enemy cold, etc., 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 and you can bring those resistances down incredibly well. Also, the main problem with bringing the resistances down for physical is that you have to have a amplify damage or a decrepify source that is reliable, and that is usually not the case, which means that this number right here, the -5%, is unreliable. Also, if you have Decrepify instead, then you can bring the monster down to, what, 0%, right? So at least you're doing your full damage output. Or if they're immune, you're not going to bring them down to -5. You're going to bring them down... Sorry, this, you know what, this number's not even right. I don't even know what I'm doing. because it's penalized, right? So it's penalized, which means you're going from 95% to what, like 20% of 100. So you can bring them down to 75%. My bad. So even this 75% is unreliable if they're immune. It's just not a good way to dish out damage, because there's no real good, reliable way to bring down the monster's physical resistance if they have extremely high physical resistance. You can use the Sunder, you can use Amplify Damage, you can use Decrepify, but at the end of the day, it just doesn't really work very well by comparison to Fire, Lightning, Cold, and Poison, which can literally double their damage output. On top of this, being close to the 100% means you're dishing out relatively nothing. I mean, who cares if you're dishing out, you know, that much damage if like 95% of that damage is reducted from the amount of damage that you're dealing, meaning that you're dishing out practically nothing. It's an equation which has kind of led me to believe that physical damage is just the inferior damage choice in Diablo 2, even if you are a melee character. Even if you're a melee character whose goal is to dish out physical damage, it still feels like dishing out physical damage is a poor choice. Unless you can dish out so much physical damage that literally you can just bypass all the resistances that a monster has. Like, if you're literally dishing out, like, you know, 10 trillion damage, I don't know how many zeros that is, then negative 95% of that is still going to result in, you know, something worthwhile. Which is kind of like the whole goal of what grief is that grief has so much physical damage that it literally just kind of like, despite the fact that it's getting most of its damage removed when you hit a monster, it still does something. In PVM, yes. In PvP, still, it's not the greatest. So the reason why grief is OP in PvP, and this is a whole different topic, is not because grief is physical damage. Grief is OP in PvP because it bypasses the PvP penalty. I could probably show you this. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. This is probably the best I'm going to be able to get right off the top of my head. So, damage plus adds to both minimum and maximum physical damage before plus damage is applied. Character screen does not add the damage until after the plus % damage is applied, so actual damage can be much higher than is actually displayed. Character screen does not add damage at all. And then, pretty sure we can find the PvP penalty here. Bum, bum, bum. Where is my PvP penalty? Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-bum. Bow, 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 bow. Trying to pull up that PvP damage reduction penalty, but I can't find it. It's been a little while. Here we go, right here. When attacking other players, all damage of attacks and spells is 7, and that's why Grief pretty much just dominates in PvP, because of the way that it bypasses the penalty. It's something about the way that the damage is actually calculated. It's calculated like at the end of the equation, after everything is already all figured out, and it causes the damage to basically just bypass everything. So, no, physical damage isn't the king in PvP, but Grief is the king in PvP because it bypasses PvP penalties. And as we were talking about earlier, there are other items in the game that have the Grief damage modifier as well, like the Redeemer, Ashrion's Iron Ward. There's more than just items like that, the Grief itself, that have that Grief damage number. I mean, it seems to be okay. I still have internet. Hopefully. Let's go kill Shank. I'm running a physical damage character because it was chosen for me. Yeah, Pulaski. What's up, Jesse? It was voted for in advance before this episode ever aired. I did a vote on my community page. If you take a look at my community page, down here is a vote literally for the build that I'm going to be using for this episode. And as you can see, it was 27% martial arts, 20% trap sin, 36% blade fury, blade sentinel, 18% kicks in. You can basically just chalk this up to that the community wanted to see me suffer, which they always do. So the community chose the worst option because they wanted to see me suffer. Alright? That's exactly what they wanted. They wanted to see me suffer. If I was going to choose a, specifically, if I was going to choose my own, like, Assassin Solo Self-Found P8 character, I don't think it would have been a Blade Fury Sin. I do not think it would have been a Blade Fury Sin at all. I think I would have chosen something else. Freaking Thornhawk's always got so much HP. Alright, buddy, you think you're so hot. Qasim had a family, he did. Oh yeah, what's wrong with Twitch? Try to breathe. Whew. I'm gonna lure all his little friends away. Alright. I need her to just like spam this, so I'm gonna put this on both hands. She loves to spam it when I put it on both hands. Alright, is that him by himself now? He's by himself now, good. Well, mostly by himself. 1-fight trophy. Might help pay for my merc.
I can't carry anymore.
A Aldrich shield and a scourge. He certainly gave me a bunch of junk. Get that ghost glaive back. I think it's worth some money. Assault helmet might be worth some money too. And that Francisco. I think I worry about money because my merc be dying all the time. And since my merc be dying all the time, I gotta pay 50k a pop every single time he dead. I don't like it.
Afternoon.
I'm gonna use this last socket quest on. This heraldic shield probably worth nothing. 1,350. That's pretty much what I thought. Basically nothing. So poison dagger necro is actually possible. I've built a character around it. It's just really annoying. I actually have a character. What did I call him? I called him something. The Spreading Plague or something like that. I can't remember. I can't remember his name. It's been a little while. I actually did make a poison dagger necro, and it was actually pretty successful. It's been a long time though since I messed with him. I don't know if I actually have him up like in an individual video, but his restriction wasn't actually dishing out damage or killing stuff. His restriction was actually the daggers break too much. Daggers have like no durability whatsoever. So I was in there stabbing away, dishing out the damage like I was supposed to, but the daggers would literally shatter in like 4 or 5 hits because daggers only have like 10, 15 durability. And so the problem with him didn't become, could I dish out the damage? The problem with him became, like, how many times do I got to run back to town to repair my weapon? Like, I literally couldn't even kill Diablo without my weapon breaking. I mean, the wizard spike method pretty much precludes actually using the poison dagger. You're pretty much just a poison nova.